Britain is a nation of millions of cat and dog lovers, so just imagine how mortified they'd be to discover that they had been unwittingly buying goods made out of cat and dog fur. But until recently, such fur was turning up in coats, linings for boots and gloves, and even stuffed toys. And because exporters often attached false labels, you'd never know you'd been duped. Scottish MEP Struan Stevenson was shocked to learn about the cat and dog fur trade and began supporting the Humane Society International campaign to have it banned.
Well, Humane Society told me that their research indicated up to 2 million cats and dogs were being cruelly slaughtered, and still are, by the way, cruelly slaughtered every year in China, simply to supply the rag trade and the tourist industry in Europe. And many of these animals were being skinned alive. The film footage that I've seen and the evidence that I've seen firsthand in many visits to China shows the cruel, the brutal nature of this business.
So what happened was that in Britain, when politicians and campaigners saw the undercover investigation footage that had been taken in China, everyone was immediately mobilised to try to track these products coming in. And in fact, the UK government, following pressure from the HSI, helped to develop a test to identify the origin of the furs.
Well, of course, we've purchased and had DNA tested many things, like individual cat skins, which we purchased in the Ramblas in Barcelona, or these cute little cats in baskets which come from China. When these are DNA tested, bizarrely, we've discovered that cats can often be made from dog skins. So they kill a dog to make a little cute cat. And it's cat and dog lovers who buy these things for their kids. You know, when I go around showing these to schools, a lot of the people say, "Oh my God, we have these in our rooms at home. We're going to never do this again, never buy them again." And of course you have full-scale rugs made out of dozens of cat skins, even a fur coat bought in Berlin, full-length fur coat made from 42 Alsatian puppy skins.
The next step on from producing the evidence of the suffering of animals in China was to launch the public petition. And of course, in doing that, celebrities are extremely useful. So the work of Heather Mills-McCartney in this area was invaluable.
So when Humane Society told me that Heather was on board, I said, this is great, because she has a website that gets tens of thousands of hits every month, and we need to gather up petition signatures because the Commission are asking for this. So we brought Heather, and she was willing to cooperate. We brought her over to a press conference. She announced that she was going to help us in this campaign.
The video that I received was from a guy in America from the Humane Society. And when I watched it, I just couldn't believe how horrific it was to see these dogs and cats being skinned alive. And I suggested that we should show this at the Parliament. And we did. And most of the MEPs and most of the journalists had to turn away. They couldn't bear to look at it. And I kept saying, you have to look at this, and this has to be changed. We knew in advance that we had to get a lot of signatories for anything to be taken notice of. The Commissioner, Mr. Cipriano, said, you have to show that the public have a huge interest in this for it to become some kind of priority. We knew that people would be moved when they saw the visuals of these atrocious acts on dogs and cats. But I was very surprised that 250,000 people signed that quickly. And the support that we had was unbelievable.
Following submission of the petition signatures to the Commission, they really just couldn't stand back and ignore the weight of public opinion calling for a ban.
Then the Commission drew up a draft regulation which had to go through the normal parliamentary process. When it came eventually, after all the amendments were dealt with, when it came eventually to be voted in the plenary session, it was on a show of hands, but I looked round the room and it was a packed chamber, over 700 MEPs present. I didn't see a single vote against or even an abstention.
It would not have happened if Struan hadn't been involved. To see him just so passionate about it was inspiring.
British Conservative colleagues made this one of their keynote campaigns. Right from the start, they were hugely helpful to me and participated from beginning to end. Without the intervention of my colleagues, I think we'd still have been knocking on the door for potential legislation. It may still not have happened.